struggle work towards the liberation of Palestine. Please join me in welcoming Sister Somar with a warm round of applause.
And I'm an organizer with the Palestinian Youth Movement, but most importantly, I am a proud Palestinian, born and raised in Jenin in the occupied West Bank. Look around you. Look at the people standing here, side by side, filling the streets with unwavering power. This is
got to name them, my friends, and we got to call them out for what they are. Mark Carney is a despicable, spineless man, because a couple of weeks ago he stood in Davos and he told the world that no longer will we bow the knee to the superpowers. He said that the middle powers need to come together and fight for humanity and for principle. And as soon as Trump called him up, what did he do on the first day the first bombs were dropped? He basically said, I support the illegal war against the Iranians. And this is despite the fact that on the very first day, the Americans bombed the school in Iran and murdered 180 school children. And where did he learn that tactic from? Where did he learn that from, my friends? On the very first day, we know he was sending a message. The very same message that the Israeli and the IDF were sending the world. They have got no compunction about bombing schools and bombing hospitals and bombing civilians and murdering civilians. That's what Israel brought us, and now that's what the United States is bringing us, and that's what the Prime Minister of this country supported. And then we have the weasel of the street, Doug Ford. The went into the courts over here. They tried to stop a peaceful demonstration. And he called us all hateful, terrorists. Because why? Because we're standing in solidarity with people who had a genocide committed against them. And instead, he backs up the Zionists as if somehow the Zionists are the ones that should be supported and not the innocents in Gaza and in Lebanon, where tens of thousands of people have been murdered. And then we come to City Hall, and we got a guy named Brad Bradford. Imagine naming your child that. Brad Bradford, again another Zionist supporter, trolling for votes for this September to become the mayor of the city. An authoritarian, if ever you've seen one, who wants to shut down peaceful protests and take away and abrogate the rights, the charter rights of Canadians. Well, my friends, we all have a vote, and we must all remember. We must remember the Liberals, remember the Conservatives, and remember the weasels down at City Hall. Do not give them your votes, my friends. So listen, I want to leave you with the words, I want to paraphrase a great hero of mine and a great hero, an Irish hero. And his name is James Connolly. And 110 years ago, James Connolly put together a civilian army, and he took on the might of the British Empire. And it was basically a ragtag army of patriots in Ireland. And on Easter Sunday, they occupied the General Post Office in Dublin. And he fought the British Empire to a standstill for over 2 weeks. And they were eventually arrested and bombed. And James Connolly was taken into Kilmainham jail. And he was executed. They sat him on a chair because he was one-legged and couldn't stand up. And they put a bullet through his heart. And James Connolly has left a legacy of wisdom to the people of the world and everybody who's fighting for freedom, fighting against imperialism, and fighting against colonialism. And he said, the day will come when the warmongers and the war criminals who oppress humanity will be hurled from their place of power. And the emancipated workers of the earth will found a new society, a new civilization, whose cornerstone will be an inspiring principle of justice, whose limits humanity alone can bound. Thank you, sisters and brothers. Thank you very, very much and unity we must uphold as we continue this movement. Next, I would like to invite Brother Ali Mullah to the stage. Brother Ali Mullah has been peace activist for a long time. Let's cut it down. My brothers, sisters, comrades, friends, Rabbi and Imam, all of you, salam, peace, and shalom. You know, I was planning to have a different speech, but because of what happened today, I have to change it. But anyhow, don't believe me, I never wrote a speech. Just to be with you in solidarity, and before I say anything further, I would like to invite our behind-the-scene hero, the lawyer who represented our QUD'S committee at PYM at today's hearing, the lawyer Shane Martinez. Give him the applause. Okay, you know, I give him my time. He made the day today. It is our day. Thank you, Shane.
I just want to say at the outset, it's always a privilege and an honor to be able to do any kind of advocacy on behalf of Palestinian people and the movement for Palestinian national liberation. There was an extensive team of lawyers and law students and volunteers that worked tirelessly behind the scenes since 2:30 yesterday when Doug Ford made his announcement that he was directing the Attorney General to try to shut down this event. What we need to remember, and what we know very well, is that Doug Ford's attempt to stop QUD'S Day is not an isolated incident. It is part of a pattern of anti-Palestinian racism deeply entrenched in this provincial government. The keffiyeh ban, the refusal to raise the Palestinian flag at Queen's Park, censuring Sarah Jama, adopting the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, all of this is part of a pattern to suppress and to silence Palestinian resistance. But one thing, above all else, for us to remember and for us to make sure that they know, is that no matter how many lawyers they send, no matter how much money they have, no matter how many police they have, they will never overcome the resilience of the Palestinian people.
We have a better job to look after the best interests of Bulgarians and spend the tax dollar wisely. Will not be nothing because now he is presenting legislation to prevent access to public information, which means you can let the info of Germany. Anyway, but I know I won't be long, but a couple of statements I want to make. They accuse us of being anti-Semite. Well, I'm Semite. I'm Semite more than the people who comes from Poland, Ukraine, or New York, Harlem, because Arabs are Semites. You know who is the real anti-Semites? The real anti-Semites are the Zionist groups who are blindly following the genocidal state and legal state of Israel. And that's why majority of Jewish youth, brothers and sisters from their they have no ways to waste of them. So finally, I thank every one of you. And today, we had our day in Raccoon. Thank you again, Shane. But I put a challenge out to that folk. If we have the guts and the fortitude, pick the media, pick the place, and we'll debate them publicly. We'll debate them because this being in addition to what Shane has said. We also need so disrespectful and disrespectful against union leaders, student movement, academics, etc. If it's a big enough, it's a big enough, which he is not. Which he is not. Because he didn't engage with taking this decision, he went to the coup. So we invite him to the public debate and we'll see who is the racist, who is the pro-terrorist, and who is the anti-Semite. And God be with you, bless you, and at the same time, stay cool. Because next week, or the week after, or a couple of weeks after, we will always speak out for Palestine. We will always stand up against war. So stay connected, and thank you. Thank you very much, President LEBANON. Zionism is racism! And we down the stage, that if they can find space in front of the stage, then please move forward and come in front of the stage. Please, thank you. Now, again, as I said earlier that we are running against the time, I will quickly invite our next speaker, Brother Hassan from Iranian Canadian Congress. Brother Hassan. Hello, everyone. I'm here on behalf of my beloved compatriots in Iran and Iranian Canadian Congress. I have to do the first section of my speech in Farsi because of my family. دوستان، هموطنان، خواهران و برادران، امروز اینجا ایستاده‌ایم فارغ از تفاوت تفکر، سلیقه، مذهب، زبان و قومیت، نه برای ستایش جنگ، نه برای زیباسازی ویرانی، نه برای تحریف خون، برای اینکه بگوییم جنگ افتخار نیست، ویرانی هیچگاه زیبا نیست، اما ملتی که برای آزادی، عدالت، شرافت و حق زیستن خود می‌ایستد با سربلندی در حافظه تاریخ ثبت می‌شود. جنگ انتخاب انسان‌های آزاده نیست، اما دفاع از کرامت انسانی، دفاع از خالق، دفاع از وطن، دفاع از شرافت ملی انتخابی است که تاریخ هرگز فراموش نمی‌کند. آنچه جهانیان را بغض‌زده کرده فقط حجم جنایت نیست، عظمت روح ایرانی است. همین ایستادگی، همین دلاوری، همین آرامش در دل آتش، همین سربلندی در دل مصیبت است که ایران را ایران کرده. ما فرزندان ایران زمین در کنار سربازان، فرماندهان و همه زنان و مردان شجاعی که در این سرزمین در برابر بیگانه زانو نزدند تمام حق می‌ایستیم و با صدای رسا و با قدرت فریاد می‌زنیم. این خاک ملتی است که خم می‌شود اما شکسته نمی‌شود، زخمی می‌شود اما تسلیم نمی‌شود. ما وارثان فرهنگ و تمدن و مذهبی هستیم که دلاوری را می‌شناسد، رسالت را می‌فهمد و فداکاری و شهادت برای میهن را با تمام وجود درک می‌کند. ما به جهان می‌گوییم ایران ملک بی‌صحاب نیست. ایران حافظه دارد، ایران ریشه دارد، ایران روح دارد و ما بر پایه هویت، فرهنگ و شخصیت ایرانی و چینی خود حتی ذره‌ای از خاک و شرافت و استقلالمان را به بیگانه نخواهیم داد. ما تا جان در بدن داریم و تا پروژه فکر میکنن. ما یک اصل ساده داریم: انتقاد خیانت نیست، مخالفت خیانت نیست، اما همکاری با متجاوز، مشروعیت بخشیدن به بمباران، خوشحالی از کشته شدن هموطن و تبدیل کردن رنج ملت به فرصت سیاسی خیانت است. خیانتی آشکار و نابخشودنی. امروز هر ایرانی آزاده باید مرز خود را روشن کند، در طرف مردم ایران یا در طرف آنان که به ایرانی ایران سود میبرند، در طرف شرافت ملی یا در طرف انرژی بیگانه، در طرف حقیقت یا در طرف معامله بستن خون مردم. و ما از همینجا میگوییم ملت ایران شاید با هم اختلاف داشته باشند، شاید با هم بحث داشته باشند، اما ایران را به بیگانه نمی‌فروشند. And now, listen, Netanyahu, Trump, and all those who believe this region is their chessboard. You do not understand Iran. You do not understand our memory. You do not understand our place in history. We are not a disposable nation. We are not a laboratory of your wars. We are not a worthless battlefield of your ambitions. Iranian civilization reaches back thousands of years, and the Iranian state has stood in recognizable political form for millennia. We were there long before your governments, your military doctrines, and your modern empires. You arrived recently in history, and speak as if you can redesign ancient lands with bombs, sanctions, and assassination. You can't. You destroy our region and then lecture us about order. You destroy countries and then preach stability. Let me say this plainly. Our internal differences are our business. Our political debates are our business. Our future is our business. All we ever wanted was a normal life, dignity, work, peace, family, stability, and the right to raise our children without airstrikes and sanctions. So, hear this clearly. Leave Iran alone. Leave Palestine alone. Leave Lebanon, Turks, Assyrians, Armenians, and all the people of this wonderful but magnificent region. We are not each other's enemies. We are neighbors. We are bounded by geography, by history, by grief, and by destiny. Our pain has different names, but it is one pain. Our struggles have different fronts, but they face the same machinery. Our martyrs have different languages, but they fell under the same arrogance. So this is a historical moment, a rare moment, a decisive moment, a golden moment about West Asia, a moment to understand that no European power Lebanon, in Sudan, in Yemen, in Cuba, in Venezuela, and everywhere around this world. So we're gonna take the seeds, and I just want to say a couple of reminders. We are marshals to protect us, to keep us safe. You're gonna be wearing yellow vests. We have people, they're legal observers, wearing orange hats. If you see the police agitating, you can tell a marshal, or you can tell them. And as we mentioned, one of our other duties is to help rebuild back home after the bombings of the Zionist entity. So there will be people going along with the nation boxes, and if you can help, please do. And one last thing, as we march, we're gonna see the Zionist agitators. Let's ignore them. Let's not give them our eyes or anything. Let's keep focused on what we're here for, which is our people, our cause. Let's keep united as we march with one love voice. Marshals, we start marching. Marshals, please start marching. North on University Avenue. Please start marching north on University Avenue. And avoid any type of engagement and confrontation from the other side. With the other side. Start marching peacefully, chanting your slogans, please. and not with the police. Make some noise! Working on the streets in the middle of winter storms and collecting millions of dollars in tickets. They're spending millions of dollars on the police that you see here today. Shame! Instead of feeding the hungry and housing the poor, they are spending millions of dollars to silence our voices. Shame! Shame! They want to prevent us
the genocidal maniacs that are running this country. Shame! Shame! But not anything will silence our voices because we have the truth on our side. Make some noise!
To demonize us, even though we are exposing what all of the world is seeing, that this is an illegal war of aggression against the Iranian people. Shame! You do not need to agree with the current government, but the direction of the Iranian government and the Iranian people is in the hands of the Iranian people, not in the hands of Zionists and Epstein sympathizers. The future of Iran is in the hands of the Iranian people, not in the hands of Epstein sympathizers, or in the hands of Trump, or in the hands of Mark Carney, or any of these genociders. Shame! And while we have agitators that are Zionists, we have agitators who are Shah loyalists, we have agitators who are white supremacists, we must not let them succeed. And the same bombs that shame! It is the same bombs that killed over 100 Venezuelans and 32 Cubans who were protecting Venezuela, the Republic of Venezuela. Shame! It was the same USS Gerald Ford who pulled up to Venezuela, who also pulled up to Iran, who is sending these bombs right now on the Iranian people. Shame! It is this government that has been so complicit all over the Caribbean region, bombing children in Haiti. Shame! It has been the Canadian drone equipment that has been used to kill over 140 people in the Caribbean Sea. Shame! They are still killing people as we speak. Last week, 6 people in the Caribbean Sea were bombed. They're killing Venezuelans, they're killing Colombians, they're killing Trinidadians, they're killing our people in our region. This is a war against the whole world and all of those who fight against imperialism. Shame! Sorry, I was not supposed to speak today. We had another comrade who had to leave, so I didn't have a whole speech prepared. But we must understand. Thank you. But we must understand, like Iran and Venezuela, when any country fights for their sovereignty and is building an alternative system to this capitalist nightmare that we live in here, and this settler colony that is killing indigenous people here as we speak, militarizing the Arctic, and is doing all kinds of heinous actions against the native people of this land. It is the same forces in all of our native homes that are, sorry, I was not prepared, but that are killing our people as we speak. It is what happens whenever you do something different than this capitalist system. They do not want to see socialism. They do not want to see alternative systems like Iran is providing, like Venezuela is providing, like Cuba is providing, which is right now why they're increasing this blockade against Cuba, which is why oil has not come into Cuba in over 3 months. Shame! The Cuban people
people are struggling, they are starving, and it's not because of the Cuban government, it is not because of socialism, it is because of this over 60-year blockade, it's because of imperialism, it is because of the United Snakes of America. Shame! So I just want to finish with saying, Venezuela appreciates the decades that Iran has stood with the Venezuelan people, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Yes, yes. It is because of countries like Venezuela and Palestine and Iran and Cuba who are shining stars for what we can do outside of this nightmare that we live in. There are possibilities, a new world is possible, and it already exists in Iran, in Venezuela, Cuba, and all of these other places fighting imperialism. So we must follow their lead and continue to support their national sovereignty. Thank you. Free, free Iran!
This was not planned, it was spontaneous, and he did a great job. Thank you very much. As we come to the conclusion, I would like to express our deepest gratitude and thanks to each and every one of you who have braved the cold of Toronto and who stood firm with us and walked with us in solidarity with all the oppressed people of the world, Palestine, Lebanon, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba. I would also like to thank the marshals, the volunteers, the speakers, our guests from Nutri Carta, and also our patrons who work behind the scenes, like Stephen Alice and Ali Mullah and Palestinian Youth Movement who participated with us in today's walk. I really appreciate. And to end this blessed walk today, I would like to invite Brother Ahmed to recite a prayer to Almighty Allah of unity. Dua Wahdat, the prayer of unity.
Assalamu alaikum, all my brothers and sisters. I would like to read the Dua al-Wahda, but if it is possible, can you hold in hand each other together and facing to Qibla? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, ilahan wahidan wa nahnu lahu muslimun. La ilaha illallah wa la na'budu illa iyyah mukhlisina lahu ad-din wa la kariha al-mushrikun. La ilaha illallah rabbuna wa rabb abaina al-awwalin. La ilaha illallah wahdahu anjaza wa'dah wa nasara 'abdah wa a'azza jundah wa azama al-ahzab wahdah. فله الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت ويحيي وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات بلند. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. God bless all of you guys.